Okay, we move to phasers and choruses, what they call time modulation modulation devices. To make it short and unboring, what modulation device... Actually, these things are actually delays. You all know what a delay is, an echo, right? Choruses, flangers, and I think phasers are basically modulation devices. What actually happens is when your guitar hits the circuit, it's actually delayed. Pero yung delay niya, you can hardly hear it. So, pag nirinig niyo pumitik yung signal, uulitin niya. And, well, it happens so fast that you can't really detect it as a delay. So, in their purest sense, choruses are actually delay pedals. If you lengthen the delay time of a chorus to the point na maririnig mo na yung delay, then it becomes an actual delay. What this means is, from a technical standpoint, yung pinanggagalingan nila is the same, although it doesn't sound like it. And if you want to know more about that, then get a degree in electronics. What I did with these pedals is I set them to more or less a chorus sound, which I prefer. If I were to get a chorus, this is how I would make it sound like. So we start with the MXR stereo chorus. We're hearing it in mono. I'll try to play it in stereo so that more people will appreciate what it's like to play in stereo. It's one of the most wonderful things in the world, especially if you're the only guitar player in your band. Dahil anong nangyayari kasi, a bass amplifier, it doesn't matter where you put it. If you put it here or you put it there, yung bass frequencies mas madaling gumapang at kumalat yan eh. So it doesn't have to be it has to be in a particular place also, but by nature, bass frequencies madaling tumawid dyan eh. Guitar amps, you guys know this. If you're in front of the guitar amp, you can hear it clearly. If you move to the left or to the right, out of its path, medyo nakatutok yung tunog ng gitara eh. Now, if you're going to go stereo, which I would, as much as I can, I'd insist on before, what you're doing is you have an amplifier here, one on the other side of the stage. You can actually lower your volume because there's no need for you to turn up, because your sound will be all over the place. In much the same way that the bass, yung tunog ng bass will be all over the place, the drums will always be loud. Of course, given proper miking and a proper monitoring system. And it really does give you the illusion that your band sounds bigger than it actually is. When I insist on playing in stereo, some people think that ang yabang naman, you only need one amp to make a sound, and that's true. But if you go stereo kasi, especially if you have effects with stereo outs, what I do sometimes is I'd hook up a looper on one side, so when the band's playing, there's something happening on this side of the stage. It makes things more interesting. And again, instead of having your guitar coming from a very specific place, your guitar is coming from here. And I'll try to play through two amps. So I really think, especially if there's only one of you in your band, if there's only one guitar player in your band, it's a great way to make your sound bigger. I don't recommend it if there's two guitar players because, masyadong maraming amp. But MXR stereo chorus. And as with most choruses, if you're into those, those druggy sounds, if you have it set up like this, rate all the way up with all the way down, it kind of simulates. It sounds like a very, very subtle phase shifter, phaser. But my personal preference for chorus, I would set it up like to sound like this. The way I want to use chorus is if my clean signal sounds right to me, if it sounds balanced to me with the way I play, when I turn on the chorus, gusto ko yung parang may konting bango lang ng konting bango lang. I don't want it to sound like bigla na lang there's a gigantic effect on top of it. I just want the notes to be a little sweeter. And, you know, again, people have different philosophies when it comes to choruses.